As told by Luke, the familiar story of how John the Baptist begins his ministry is filled with many startling contrasts. Luke begins the story listing the Roman leaders of Palestine, each with his title. Into that he adds the leaders of the Jewish temple, Roman Jerusalem in all its might. See any present-day parallels beginning to be drawn here? And then out of poverty and suffering, the wilderness that these mighty men have created, comes John, with no title, but speaking with the voice of God. Another contrast. All those leaders are engaged in preserving the status quo. Only John is the bearer of the vision of change. Only John sees that everything must turn around as a new age begins. We are not just observers of this story, because the same contrasts are at play in our world today, and we are participants in today's story. Just as John and Jesus were participants in theirs. On which side do we place our hope? Is it a status quo? Is status quo enough for today? Or is change needed and inevitable? The coming of John the Baptist, as Luke portrays it in chapter 3, verses 1 through 6. It was the 15th year of the rule of Emperor Tiberius. Pontius Pilate was governor of Judea. Herod was ruler of Galilee. And his brother Philip was ruler of the territory of Tyria and Trachonitis. Lysanias was ruler of Abilene, and Annas and Cephas were high priests. At that time, the word of God came to John, son of Zechariah, in the wilderness. John went throughout the region of the Jordan River, calling for people to be baptized, to show that they were changing their hearts and lives, and wanted God to forgive their sins. This is just as it was written in the scroll of the words of Isaiah, the prophet. A voice crying in the wilderness, "Prepare the way for the Lord, make his path straight. Every valley will be filled, and every mountain and hill will be leveled. The crooked will be made straight, and the rough places made smooth. All humanity will see God's salvation." May these words open us to the Spirit presence.
And may wisdom come to us this day.